Alright, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it's Super here and welcome to another MK video. Today, we're going to be talking about the potential gameplay for MK12 I should say. More so sort of a wish list and a mismatch of, in my opinion, the best features of MK11 and MKX. I also asked the community on Twitter what you guys thought. So I'm gonna read out what most people wanted to see first. You know, I just generalized what everyone was voting on the most, and then I'm gonna give you guys my opinion. Of course, I don't have gameplay in the background, but I just have, you know, I'm gonna go between MK11 and MKX just to have something to talk about. But most people, by the way, leave a like on the video if you desperately want some sort of announcement about the next NetherRealm game. Most of us, let me just preface this video by saying that most of us think that with the 30th anniversary of Mortal Kombat, it just kind of makes sense that there's going to be an announcement of a new Mortal Kombat for the 30th anniversary. But they might go on a different route. They might not even do a game next year. Might make another video about that. It's going to be insane if they don't. But here we go. So most people agreed on two things. This is one of them right here. This is one of them. Hold on. I forgot you don't enhance it with that. There you go. That's one of them right there. You break away by mistake from full screen from a random ass projectile. It happens all the time. It wasn't really that specific, but it was mostly breakaways. People hate breakaways. I think it's one of the worst features in Mortal Kombat 11. I couldn't agree more with the community. I also think breakaways have to go in the next Mortal Kombat game. Traditional breakers, MK9, man, they even go back to the 3D era. You have just normal breakers. You spend a bar or two of meter, mostly 2 bars of meter, and you break away, or you just reset everything back to neutral, and you breaker your opponent's combo. Bam. Most of the time, you're not going to do that by accident. Most of the time, it's going to be intentional. But how many times have we broken away by accident on a full screen projectile or something, or another, you know, projectile that might launch, or something that might launch, you know, like a down 2, or I have no idea, but we've broken away by accident so many times. I think breakaway has to go. So that's the number one thing people wanted to go, breakaway. I couldn't agree more. By the way, I'm gonna read what the community said first, and then I'm gonna give you guys my top 5, top 6, whatever the hell I have here. I actually have notes for once. Can you believe it? I mean, just like bullet points, not really an entire fucking paragraph and script. The other thing that people agreed upon is they want more combo variety in MK12 compared to MK11. And, you know, if we had the combo potential and the launchers, etc. from MKX, you know, it would definitely be a lot more fun to play. So I'm not really good. I'll show you guys some MKX combos. I have it loaded up after, but, you know, for example, Spawn is a character that normally, if you don't have the charge move, he doesn't have any other combos besides launching somebody with that or doing crushing blows. And the community was sort of 50-50 on crushing blows or not. I'm going to talk about crushing blows in a bit. But if you had somebody like, I was just going to say Arnold, but if you had someone like Terminator that actually had, you know, different launcher options, you know, stuff like that, stuff like this, stuff like that, you know, just right there, that's 3 launchers. Spawn 1, back 1, 2, and that's it. And that doesn't even include some of his other specials. So, you know, if characters had different ways to launch the opponents, you know, and do combos and do special moves, stuff like that, it would make the game a lot more fun. So 2 things right there. Combo potential from Mortal Kombat X more so than Mortal Kombat 11. I'm going to talk about the crushing blows because that plays into a big role of the combo potential in this game and why I have Spawn here. So The other thing that people most generally agreed upon is that they want the traditional meter back. So obviously you guys see here, there's a defensive and offensive meter. Let me actually change the settings here. Boom, I wasted my offensive meter. It refills by itself over time. Every character's meter refills by itself. Same thing with the defensive meter. Arnold broke away. Terminator broke away. Everything refills by itself. Compared to Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat X, if you do a special move as an offensive player, you build a little bit of meter. If your opponent blocks your attacks, you're building meter. The only negative thing is that for the opponent, if you hit somebody on block, they don't build meter while you do. They only build meter when you get hit. So a lot of people prefer that system compared to Mortal Kombat 11's regenerate system. And I have to say, I definitely agree on that. Even though, for example, in Mortal Kombat X, you had characters like Melina that were really good zoning, and you know, she could build meter extremely fast. Or you had characters like Liu Kang who put you into block strings that lasted forever, and they were gaining meter while you weren't on block and chipping you out, you know, doing chip damage, etc. I believe that, well, I guess I'll give you guys this one because I don't think I have this one in my notes, but I definitely agree that the meter system from MK9 and MKX should return. But I think either the opponent should also gain a little bit of meter when you put them into a block string, or the block breaker that was in Mortal Kombat X should be 1 bar. And at the same time, when it comes to that, I'm not sure if it would just be, you know, a block breaker spam fest. I don't mean that like a scrubby term. I'm just saying, like, if a block breaker is 1 bar, it might just be the way to go instead of using your 2 bars to break away out of the combo. I guess it just depends on how strong characters' pressure is. For Mortal Kombat X, you know, there's a handful of characters that are insanely good on block, but other than that, you know, you're not really going to be paying attention to characters putting you in infinite block strings. So I think having the breaker be 1 bar block breaker, or having the opponent actually gain meter when they're put into a, you know, a block stun, or they're getting hit on block, I think that's probably the way to go in that situation. So those are the 3 main things that people just completely agreed upon. Everything else is, you know, up and down. So now I'm just going to give you guys my general likes and dislikes, and what I would want to see implemented into MK12 between MKX and MK11. And I'm not using MK9 because these are the 2 most recent games, but to be honest, this is probably like, they might take 1 or 2 things from like Mortal Kombat 11, you know, for example, but every time NetherRealm puts out a new game, they completely change the playstyle. MK9 was insanely fast paced because the dash cancels were a lot better. You had these crazy offensive characters, crazy gameplay. You actually had amazing combos. Like MK9, if they just modernize the graphics and have MK9 playstyle, I gotta say, I would be completely fine with that, because MK9 did what MK11 tried to do, just way better. So I'm just taking that out. But if you compare games, MK9 was that style. MKX, they took that playstyle and put some steroids into it, you know, some trend or something, to enhance it by 5 times. It was just insane. Offense. I love it. And then Mortal Kombat 11, they brought it back down to a more traditional, quote-unquote, footsie style gameplay, where it was more like an MK2 style game, where the game was played more on the ground. They shortened the combos by default. You know, it was even said by Ed Boon and the developers. They wanted the game to be more intimate, instead of being, you know, you get 10 hit combos, 15 hit combos, stuff like that. So that is why the games, you know, are so different. So 100% guaranteed MK12 will be like something new. But it's fun to make videos like this and, you know, try to predict stuff. All right, so number one thing that I have on my list. So I wrote my list out before I even read my Twitter interactions, so I won't have any bias or anything like that, even though you guys know what my bias is probably going to be. But my number one thing actually that I wrote down is get rid of breakaways and flawless block. So flawless, I already talked about breakaways. I hate breakaways. I think it's a horrible idea in this game. And flawless blocks, let me explain. I'm cool with flawless blocks in like maybe even neutral, but it's more like flawless block is something like a parry, and I think it should only be activated when your opponent has you on block. So it's good if you want to interrupt a block string that has a gap in it, because there's no armor attacks in this game. So I think that's when flawless block is cool. But the fact that you can flawless block somebody, here, let me see if I could put, can I put the character flawless block? Here we go. All right. So I'm gonna hit him with, let me see, a down 4, right? Let me just hit him with a down 4. Down 4 is 16 frames of hit advantage. Do I have anything else that's better? Let's just hit him with a 16 frames of hit advantage. Let me see. I don't know if this is a good example, but wait a minute. You're supposed to auto. There you go. All right. So you guys have seen this many times, right? When you hit somebody with a down 1, they're in hit stun. So you should be able to take your turn. But the fact that you could flawless block while being in hit stun is crazy. I think that is something that I hate so much in this game. There's been many times where I hit somebody with a down 1. You know, spawns down 1 is, what is it? What's the advantage on this? 15 frames of advantage, right? If I hit you with a down 1 and then do an instant stand 1 is like, it's 7 frames. Like, you should not be able to flawless block when you're in 15 frames of hit stun. When my turn, I have 15 frames to do whatever I want. 15 frames to do whatever I want. They're in so much hit stun that you guys saw the first time I couldn't even grab. I couldn't even grab the opponent because there wasn't so much hit stun, but you could flawless block. So I think flawless block on hit, and maybe even a neutral, I hate it so much. I think the Mortal Kombat X breaker system and armored moves is way better. If you want to put a defensive system, just incorporate armor attacks again. Just don't make them launch. If people don't want to be launched, just don't make them launch. Have it be the way it was in the final patch of Mortal Kombat X, where you have your normal breaker. It takes away both your opponent's stamina and your own stamina, so it's literally reset back to neutral. And you have armor attacks to blow up any gaps that your opponent's trying to hit you with, or, you know, anything else. See, like this right here, for example, let's just say this is a gap, right? If you had an armor attack, after you do this and you see this wind up, if your opponent really wants to do that, then you could do an armor attack, you know? Because if you block this, it's plus on block, right? That's kind of an example of, you know, quote unquote, a gap in something. Mortal Kombat X, you're getting hit by an armor attack. One other thing that I kind of want to bring up as far as defensive tools is I want backdash invincibility to come back. So in this game, if you backdash, you're not invincible. But in Mortal Kombat X, and I believe Mortal Kombat 9, if you backdash, you have invincibility frames during the startup of your backdash. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to do this. You know, if I did it with spawn, my opponent could sort of wait a little bit and then backdash the final hit, and then punish me for doing something that has a lot of recovery frames because my backdash has invincibility. I think those defensive options, in my opinion, are way better than... Actually, do I need to... Yeah, okay. I need to stay on Mortal Kombat 11 for a little bit longer. I'll talk about it right now, but I'll show you guys the backdash invincibility and stuff in a bit. But the reason I was start off on MK11 is because I think we could all agree the combo system is way better in Mortal Kombat X. And one thing that sort of was implemented in this game that was meant to be a different mechanic to extend combos was crushing blows. Crushing blows were implemented in the game to be able to extend your combos. Obviously, a normal down 2 is not going to get you anything, but if you punish your opponent, their highs or anything like that, you get this, and then you get the chance to go into any combo you want. And this is why I don't like crushing blows. So the number 2 thing that I would remove is crushing blows. The reason for that is because the game depends too much on crushing blows to have combo potential. Perfect example. Spawn is literally my favorite character to play in this game when I have the soul forfeit move. This move right here, it allows him to do easy crushing blows. So normally you have to get a grab on your opponent while your back is in the corner in order to get the grab crushing blow. But if you have soul forfeit, you get all these easy crushing blows. You know, you get this crushing blow, you get every crushing blow he has. But like I showed you before, if you don't have that and you don't have the charge move, Spawn only gets this launcher right here. That's it, like normally. So I think the game depends too much on crushing blows in order to do damage and extend combos. And one of the biggest reasons why I hate crushing blows is because they put crushing blows in grabs. Like, for example, you know, this is going to get you a full combo, right? How many times have you died by Spawn when he grabs you in the corner, he does a forward 2-3 into fatal blow, and that's 50%. And you can't even break away because he keeps you on the ground. Or how many times have you gotten grabbed by Scorpion where you have to guess between one or both throws? It's a 50-50. It's a guess at that point. And, you know, he back throws you for 30%. Or Liu Kang back throws you for 30%. I think both his throws do 30% on the crushing blow. That is what pisses me off right there, because I've gotten hit by many a times where I have like 25%. I get grabbed. I forgot that I teched the wrong way. Boom. You lose 30% and that's it. But going back to the combo system, like, this combo is ridiculously cool, right? I think we could all agree. This combo is really sick. Right? It doesn't do 59%. It does more damage because I didn't actually have the soul forfeit, but the combo works with soul forfeit. You guys have seen me do it. That combo is ridiculously cool, but I feel like the game depends too much on crushing blows in order to do things. And I know it's like the core mechanic of the game, but I feel like Mortal Kombat X flows a little bit more. Mortal Kombat 9 flows a little bit more. Even combo-wise, you have so much combo variety in MK9 that just flows a lot smoother and better looking, in my opinion, than doing these crushing blows. And it gives you the freedom to actually get big combos without needing to activate a soul forfeit move or needing Arnold to get like a down 2 in order to get a combo like this. Well, you air grab him and then you like finish him off with whatever, right? You finish it off with that. But that's what, 2 crushing blow requirements. Like, some requirements are not hard. There's the I'll be back breaker one is not hard. The down 2 one, you know, sometimes you can mash, you know, stuff like this. This is a launcher, right? You know, maybe this wouldn't need to be a launcher in another game because it's so hard to hit anyway. So obviously that combo looks really fucking cool, but again, it kind of depends on the crushing blows. So that's just my opinion. I would not want crushing blows back. All right, now let's actually switch over here to Mortal Kombat X. I'll just show you guys a perfect example right now, since we're talking about combos, right? All right, we got Kenshi right here. I got 3 bars of meter that I have built up. Let's just say my opponent has no breaker. I hit him with any combo string, and compare that combo to this combo. I think the other combos might look a little bit cooler just because Crushing Blow does have that cinematic effect to it. But just check this combo out, right? Man, that combo is ridiculous. Or check this combo out. Let's go to the corner, biatch. All right. This one might be a little bit trickier. Oh, that combo looks so sick. And if I have my meter, I'm doing 68 on your ass if you don't have a breaker. 68%, right? With my resources that I've earned throughout the course of the game. Those combos look awesome, and they don't require crushing blows. That is my reasoning for why crushing blows should not return in this game. For that exact example that I showed you right now. Both combos in both games look amazing, but combos in Mortal Kombat X, I can't show you MK9, but it kind of applies the same thing. There's a lot of really fancy looking combos. In my opinion, they just flow so much nicer. You know, like stuff like this, right? And then you, boom, Kano Ball on them. I just dropped the combo, but combos in this game just flow so nicely. All right, so that's the combo stuff. So I would want Crushing Blows not to make it. And then my first thing was I would take away the breakaway and flawless block and just come back to traditional breakers and traditional armored moves. Let's see, what do we have here? All right, this is something small to a lot of people, but it's big to me. Make the finish him screen be like Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat X, where the game would not end, the finish him screen would not pop up, and there would not be a slow down animation until the character just falls to the ground and you stop your combo. What that opens up is really cool game-ending brutality combos in MKX that you guys have seen so many times. And how many times have you seen me drop brutality combos in Mortal Kombat 11? Because I drop the combo, because there's, you know, the little slow down cinematic that happens in MK11's finish him screen. Please bring it back like it was in Mortal Kombat X. All right, now speaking of brutalities, 110% I want the brutalities the way they are in Mortal Kombat 11. I know it might shock you guys, but if the finish him screen was not a thing and it was like MKX, how many brutalities do characters have? Each character has at least 12 brutalities, 11, 10, double digits. Look how many brutalities we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 brutalities compared to, I think Kano in MK11 has at least 10. Maybe 11, maybe 12, depending on if you got some more in Combat League. But I think the creativity and brutalities in Mortal Kombat 11 is way, way better, way higher than it is in this game. So if you had the finish him screen from this game and the brutalities from MK11, oh baby. One other thing that they kind of fixed a little bit towards the end of the game is they took away a lot of the stupid requirements. Like when Mortal Kombat 11 first came out, there were so many stupid requirements for brutalities. And some of them are still there, but the newer characters, it's just hold down this button, hold down this direction, finish the game with this move after doing it twice. You know, those requirements are good because you're just going to do them throughout the course of the game. But having stupid brutality requirements is just dumb, in my opinion. Like, yeah, it's a reward at the end of the game, but I mean, everyone wants to see the brutalities that are put in the game. Like, let me just do them by holding a direction. But 100% the brutalities in Mortal Kombat 11 are way better than this game. Let's see, what do I have here? One of my biggest gameplay wishes for Mortal Kombat 12 is to bring back the run button. Please, NetherRealm. I don't need to talk about this because I've talked about this to death. Bring back the run button. It opens up so many combos. And not only that, Bring back neutral jump punches that are bounces, please. They gave it a Scorpion in MK11, and it sucks. It's not even good as like normal NJPs here. Like they nerfed neutral jump punches so much. I don't understand why, because I think it's a really cool concept. Just having neutral jump punches launch opens up the combo potential even more. Like, just imagine every character had a neutral jump punch in MK11. It would just open up the combo system a little bit more. Bring back neutral jump punches and bring back the run. I do have to throw this in that most people, or a big percentage of the people who reply to my tweet, actually prefer dashing than the run mechanic. I just want to say that, because most people said that they prefer like the dash mechanic, because you know you could be in somebody's face in less than a second and they're going to be pressuring the hell out of you. And that's why Mortal Kombat X was such an offensive game, in large part to the run. But a lot of people don't like the run. I love the run because it's just offense, offense, offense. All right, I talked about get rid of the crushing blows and refillable meter. I agree with the people about the refillable meter. I prefer to have traditional meter. You know, let me earn it throughout the course of the game, and please have 3 bars of meter. All right, so here's something that might be controversial. This is gonna be controversial because I've even complained about this, but I think it's something that Mortal Kombat 11 did right, in my opinion, because I want to see the damn move. And I'm talking about fatal blows or X-rays. Normally in Mortal Kombat X, you spend all 3 bars of meter. All 3 bars. You guys saw I did 68%, right? 68%. Let's see how much I could do. Hold on. I don't even know if this combo's even gonna work. Let's see how much this combo does. This is like a meterless launcher for him, right? Alright, 41%. 3 bars of meter. No one ever used X-ray unless it's a new player and, you know, they just press left trigger, right trigger. Compared to the overhead starter that gave me 68% with, I think, 3 bars of meter. I think that's one of the positive things about having the fatal blow attached to your life bar, because it gives you at least a little bit of a comeback mechanic. But to me, like, I don't care about the comeback mechanic. I care about the style that you could add to your combo. Imagine I could do that 68%, but if I was down under 30, I ended with the fatal blow. And obviously the fatal blow, if the combo's that long, it's gonna scale like crazy, which is fine with me, but it just would make the combo look so much cooler. So I think, you know, for style purposes, I actually want the fatal blow back attached to your life bar. Under 30%, you get your fatal blow for free. But in order to sort of balance it out, I would only have it be available to use 1 time per round. 1 time per round sounds fine to me. If you use it, there is no cooldown on your fatal blow until the next round. I think that's a great way to balance that out. And not only that, but if a fatal blow hits on block, like if your opponent blocks a fatal blow, it even happens in this game. It pushes you back so much, and there's a lot of fatal blows that are like plus on block in Mortal Kombat X. I've always hated that. I have always hated. Let's see, where do I go for fatal blow? Where do I special moves? So this fatal blow is -8 on block. But look how far it pushes me back. Like, nobody, unless it's Sub-Zero that could like get a slide because it's 7 frames, nobody's gonna be able to get an optimal punish for that. And for example, Liu Kang's fatal blow in this game, plus on block. I think Scorpion's plus on block. Take that away, please. If somebody throws this out, have them be literally right here. Have it be like -30 on block. Give somebody an incentive to not do a fatal blow randomly. Like, give it armor, all that good stuff, whatever, it's fine. But if I block it, have my opponent be in front of my face so I could get an optimal punish. I think those are great ways to balance out the fatal blow / X-ray. All right. Last thing that I want to talk about Not really gameplay wise. Oh, I guess it does affect gameplay, but the community was also 50-50 on this. There's some people who actually would prefer Mortal Kombat 12 to just be one character. Have one character have all the moves that you would with 3 variations, which I don't think it would be possible because 3 variations, there's a lot of moves that tie with the same button input. But a lot of people want more of a Mortal Kombat 9 where there is no variations, there's no custom variations, it's just one character with the best moves that they come up with that character. I'm not in that ballpark anymore. I think once variations were introduced, there's no going back. And I actually really enjoy the variety that I get with Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat X. Because in Mortal Kombat X, you pretty much have a character with 3 variations, most of the time 3 unique ways to play him or her. And most of the time, all 3 variations are good. There's like very few variations after the last patch that were complete ass. Even Drunken Master Baraicho, that's considered one of the worst, if not the worst variation in the game, could do things to win matches versus characters. Maybe not the toppest of top tiers, but you could hold your own with any character. Mortal Kombat 11, you have, I don't know how many moves the characters have, like 10 moves to pick from. The game was supposed to open up with custom variations, but I guess they were too scared to do that in the first year, and then they opened it up. I think that was a huge hit to MK11 because the game was built around custom variations, and they decided to chicken out at the end, start with 2 variations, and then add like another variation, and then open up the game. Like, that was just a stupid idea. But I actually really like the variety in picking my own moves for the character that I want to use, or having 3 variations set by default that are all really good. So I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I actually would prefer the custom variation system in Mortal Kombat 11 to come back. Not only that, but I think MK11 did a great job of having you be able to pick your intros and you know, stuff like that. One thing that I will say though, if you're gonna have custom like skins and pieces that you could put for your characters, like, have good variety, right? I'll take Cassie Cage as an example for MK11. You guys have seen me talk about this. A lot of her costumes look really similar to each other. Like, if you're, I'm sure there's so much concept art that's done for each character. Like, choose unique concepts or unique costumes that you could customize for each character. Have like 5 costumes that are just unique, and have like 1 throwback costume by default. Each character has like 6 that you could mix and match from if they go with that route. Because if not, like, I would actually prefer just normal costumes that they create and they just give you that look, like Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat X, you know, and you have your alternate skins and stuff. Bring back some classics like Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 9. Because if they're gonna do the same thing with MK11 or MK12 that they did with MK11 and have a lot of characters, you know, you customize your own costume, but 70% of the costumes look the same for, you know, for each character, that, well, most of their costumes look the same compared to their default costume, or some of their alternates might look the same. They might just have 1 or 2 differences. I would prefer to see just normal costumes that these characters would have. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much, I want Mortal Kombat X 2. That's all I'm trying to say. But to be honest, like, if I had to choose between different mechanics and from Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 11, I just gave you guys what I would pick. And for the most part, the community, I think, agrees with me. I think the only thing that they don't is the run mechanic. A lot of people actually said that they would prefer not being as crazy as MKX. They would prefer the dashing, but more the dashing and movement from like Mortal Kombat 9. And the only other thing the community definitely did not agree with me is the return of fatal blows attached to your life bar. That is something that a lot of people don't want. But I give you guys my reasons why I want it and how they could be balanced properly. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. I thought this video was going to be like 15 minutes long, but here we are. Once I start, I don't stop until I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.